Hey everybody, I'm watching the Randi Rhodes show. I like her show because they like to expose a lot of the lies inside the Bush administration, but like most progressive television shows, she thinks that government is the answer to all of our problems. And I thought it was funny because a caller actually mentioned Ron Paul, which is good because now his name's being thrown around on the radio and people are going, who? So this is a plus. But it wasn't really in a good light. He said, the caller was like, well, everybody likes Ron Paul because he's against the war, but he wants to privatize everything, and that's bad. And of course, Randi Rhodes was in agreement with him. It's like, yeah, he wants to abolish all good government. And I had to laugh at this because government isn't good. Government doesn't do anything good. And she was complaining about how, like, libertarians want to... She even said libertarians are more progressive, and I find that funny because conservatives will say libertarians are more conservative, so both of them are trying to claim their right to who they represent. But she's like, they want to privatize they want to get rid of public fire departments, public police departments, public military. Public military. And I thought that was funny because actually, I could be wrong about the fire department. I'm not 100% positive with them, but I do know that the police department and the military, of course, shouldn't be privatized. Libertarians are for privatizing that. That's what the government is for. It's for protecting us. And so I honestly believe that the police department and the fire department and the military, and more than likely the fire department, they're not advocating for to have privatized. And I thought that was funny because that's the only thing she mentioned. You know, she didn't mention other things like health care and whatnot, where it actually makes sense to have privatization. And the whole thing that she's rambling on about is about how it's so bad to have everything privatized. And I'd have to argue that she's incorrect. You know, it's this whole halfway house that we seem to have going on where the government is doing some of it and private organizations is doing another part, and they're like monopolizing together. But I mean, geez, private organizations look after their own interests. With that in mind, they don't make mistakes like the government does. And second of all, more than likely, there's competition. When there's competition, their goal is to make a better product at a cheaper price. If you're a monopoly, then that means you have no competition, therefore you can make a lousy product at an expensive price, and you'll be the only one people can buy anything from. I don't know, there's just no incentive with the government. They have no incentive. They just do the very little amount they can do. You know, there's a lot of people, for example, John Edwards, who advocates, you know, for example, the government helping the poor, and you've got to really respect him for how much he's willing to help, and he has been a great help outside of politics. And I think he honestly believes that he can help the poor through his new government program. But when you think about it, anytime that people have said our government program is the key and the tool to help the poor, it always comes out failing or just being shabby ruins and just totally worthless. I honestly just don't think that the government is the way to solve the problem through privatization and through volunteering. Fire department, police department, military, no, that should be privatized. So, gosh, I really wish I could call Randi Rhodes and correct her, but I really just don't feel like it. Not to mention, I don't know, I've never really called into those shows, and I don't feel like waiting on hold for 5 hours just to make a simple point. But, yeah, so, there you go. Bye-bye.